Hello, I'd like to talk today about our love script, and especially our love script when we are kids, because this love script will influence our learning ability script or our learning disability script. And Nathanson, when he studied the love script, he studied also attachment theory. That doesn't mean that we reduce the love script to the attachment theory, but that the attachment theory is important to understand the way we love, the way we are dependent, the way we are independent, the way we are able to take risks, or, I beg your pardon, the way we are not able to take those risks. Because to learn is to do something without knowing to do something, to learn how to do something. To pilot a plane without knowing to pilot a plane, to pilot a plane. And it can be very complicated. If we are self-confident and we have effective attunement of our instructor, it will be much easier than if we are not self-confident and that we don't have effective attunement with our instructor. So when he defined the love script, Nathanson, in his book Shame and Pride, he says, page 231, if we all love at all, it is because we learn to appraise the pre-written attachment behavior that were set in motion long before we were able to interpret them. Love, then, is an example of script in which the most important scenes of needs and nurturance have been assembled and magnified with tremendous intensity. For each of us, love will depend on whatever scenes, whatever interpersonal interactions of nurturance have become generalized. So he examined three patterns in the attachment theory. The pattern A, called anxious avoidant attachment. The pattern B, called secure attachment, infant-mother. And the pattern C, anxious resistant attachment. So we'll see how these attachments will help us in the learning process, or on the contrary, will impede the learning process. So if I have an anxious avoidant attachment, when the mother led the kid at school, right? And that someone else had to take care of the kid. The child is readily available to separate from the mother, shows little affective sharing with her, seems affiliated with the caregiver, and will be able to explore independent of her. When the mother returns, this baby actively ignores her, even to the point of turning away. So somehow he's okay, but when she comes back, he avoids her. And in a way, he made her feel guilty to have abandoned him to a caregiver. So it's a kind of ambiguous relationship. And it's not like secure attachment. The secure attachment infant-mother pairs who demonstrate this type of relationship are quite different in many respects. Here, the infant uses the caregiver as a secure basis of exploration, readily separate from her to check out the new toys in the room, freely and easily shares with mother on an affective level, and is readily comforted by her when distressed, return easily to play. Indeed, when distressed, as by her programmed departure, these children seek out to the mother for solace on her return. And when her departure does not produce distress, for many of these securely attached babies are quite comfortable to be without their mother for a while. They greet her happily and initiate interaction with gusto. So we see how secure attachment is important to develop in the future a love script with others, to transfer love to others, and to be self-confident while we enter in relationship with strangers. Well, in a learning process, we are all the time entering in new relationships with strangers. It can be the new colleagues, it can be the new teachers, and if we are not secure, we can have problems to learn because we are not self-confident and we don't dare to do new things in order to learn because we are afraid to disappoint the caregiver and the mother somehow. So we don't really jump in the new situation. Then we have what it's the anxious resistant attachment. It's a quite other infantile response. This baby have great difficulty separating from the mother, even to explore the novel room in her presence. They are wary of new people and new situations. And when the mother returned, they seem even more upset, mixing contact with resistance, kicking, squirming, rejecting toys, and occasionally showing a striking degree of passivity. So, well, if we are a mother or a caregiver and we want the baby and later on the child to be secure, we have to be there. The presence is very important, but we have to habituate this kid, this baby, to the contact with other caregivers and to trust the other caregivers. So the kid will trust also the other caregivers. We have to show interest in the novelty. So the kid will be interested in the novelty. Let's take a very, very simple example. For instance, to learn how to swim. We can enter the swimming pool together and with the caregiver and swim with the kid and the caregiver and let the kid to be all right in these situations and leave the kid alone with the caregiver little by little until the kid is confident. So there is a very important exchange to build on in between the mother and the caregiver. That's why it's so important for the kids, the relationships the mother and the father have to strangers for the kids, how they allowed him to talk to strangers that are friends, that are caregivers, of course, and how they present him novelty. If the mother is afraid, if the mother is distressed, if the mother is not confident with the caregiver, the kid will not be confident and the kid will not be will not rely on this new situation, will not be confident. So the confidence of the mother is very important for the confidence of the child. That's basically what I would like to say for the script. We need affect presence, affect stability, to be there and to be there every day, and it's not easy to be there every day for the ones we love, so they are confident enough to meet strangers that are caregivers, that are people who are going to teach the kids new things and to trust them. So I'd like to take an example in a sonnet of Shakespeare, The Marriage of True Minds, a very famous sonnet that was quoted by Donald Nathanson and Sylvan Tompkins, where he said that love is this precious constancy, and this precious constancy, this precious presence every day that creates stability, affective attunement, will be determined for a learning ability script or a learning disability script. He said, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the removers to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark. And the kids need this ever-fixed mark, as we adults also need these ever-fixed marks that look on tempest and it never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth unknown also his height be taken. And he said, if this be erred and openly proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. So it is very important, if we follow affect theory, to look to the attachment problem some kids have of avoidance, of panic, of being abandoned, and how this can influence the learning process. Or on the contrary, how we can help the learning process when we are present, affectively present, and we engage on a relationship with affective attunement and constancy, stability. And just to end up, when there is no security, when there is avoidance, when there is fear, when there is shame, if we want to repair, reestablish trust, reestablish the learning script, we must not only look on the cognitive side, but we must also look on this very important affective presence, to be there every day, and to be constant in our affect, in our love, in order to help those who don't want to learn anymore, to be able to learn again, to be able to risk, to do without doing, without know how to do, to discover they are able to do it. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you very soon in the next video.